YouTubers.
Record a quick video. Hello YouTubers, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you are having a fantastic day. You are going to hear my boys and my husband. They are in the next room in the living room playing. So, you will hear them screaming and such. I just wanted to make this video because I thought it was important for me to really explain and kind of give you an idea of how I came about realizing that I experienced a phantom pregnancy. It was not a realization that happened immediately, or even it was not something that I realized I had experienced immediately after my negative ultrasound. It took quite a few weeks. In fact, if I think about it now and talk about it honestly, it probably took about 2 months for me to fully comprehend and admit that I had experienced a phantom pregnancy. I'm so sorry, you can hear him crying. He's ready for a nap. Okay, I think we got the crisis under control in the next room so that you don't hear screaming in the background. I'm sorry. Okay, it took me a good 8 weeks for me to fully realize that I had in fact experienced a phantom pregnancy. Prior to that, I called it an emotional pregnancy. And the reason why I called it an emotional pregnancy is because it was fueled by my emotions of thinking about pregnancy. And those emotions, I thought, is what really contributed to the symptoms. I now realize that it was not only just my mind, but it was also me having to make changes to my lifestyle and my diet in order for me to completely heal myself from some of the symptoms of my phantom pregnancy. I do still, it's not like I walk around with no symptoms ever. I am still a human. My lifestyle and diet changes have helped tremendously. It's a 360 to me is what it feels like. It's like a complete difference. But that doesn't mean that I don't walk around sometimes with aches and pains, just like, you know, any normal person. So I try to concentrate on constantly giving my body what it needs. So now I have a dog in here that's crying to get outside. Hold on. Okay. Back, trying to get my train of thought again. I do apologize, guys. So I called it emotional pregnancy for those first 8 weeks, those first 2 months. And then I came to realize after a lot of research that I, in fact, experienced a phantom pregnancy, and that it was okay to say that I experienced a phantom pregnancy. And that's when, because before that too, on my YouTube channel, I called what I experienced an emotional pregnancy in the title of my videos. It was at the time, about 8 weeks later, after my negative ultrasound, that I decided to change the title of some of those videos to phantom pregnancy. And then that's when I decided to really concentrate on healing my body, healing my mind, because my mind did contribute to a lot of the symptoms, my concentration on the symptoms, and I just needed to find a way, and I concentrated on turning my obsessive thoughts of feeling bad into obsessive thoughts of telling myself how I was already healed, that I'm healed, that my body is perfect, and that it has everything it needs. And so I concentrated, I flipped my obsessive thoughts of, something bad happening in my body to thoughts of my body is healing, my body is healed, my body's detoxing, I'm giving my body all the tools it needs, and it has all the tools it needs. And now the dog that I just let out is now crying to get back inside. Then I'll let him in, and then he'll like wander around here for a little while and then cry to get back out. Motherhood, right? Yes. So yes, it took time for me to fully understand what a phantom pregnancy was, and then it took time for me to accept that I had in fact experienced one. And then it took time for me to be able to say it out loud, because it's hard for you to accept it inside, let alone say it to other people. And so it took me a little bit of time to be able to say I experienced a phantom pregnancy. I thought I was pregnant when I really wasn't pregnant. It lasted for 5 full months. I experienced all the symptoms you would experience with pregnancy, including a growing belly with fetal movement, phantom fetal movement. It felt like a pregnancy. So yes. It took some time. I allowed myself that time. I didn't want to rush it. I called it by a different name for a little while. So whatever, you could call it whatever you want. But if you thought you were pregnant and there was no baby present in your uterus, it is what it is. Now, it's different on a spiritual level, because when you go into spirituality and spiritual pregnancy, then it changes really the entire dynamic of what you think you're experiencing. I was completely convinced that I had a physical baby inside my uterus at all times during the 5 months of my phantom pregnancy. I never once thought that it could be a spirit. I never once thought that it could be an angel. I never once thought that it was anything but a physical conception, an embryo that turned into a fetus. At the time that I went into my ultrasound, I was what I estimated at least 18 weeks pregnant. So I would have been close to 5 months pregnant. That would have been a pretty decent sized fetus to observe. So the entire time I was experiencing my phantom pregnancy, I was fully convinced that it was a real baby. So I could never call it a spiritual pregnancy after I realized that I was not in fact pregnant. I realized that I thought I was pregnant, there was no baby in my uterus, and that I had, with a mixture of physical symptoms and mental influence, created this entire pregnancy. And it took some time to process that and accept it and call it what it really was. Like I said, I called it an emotional pregnancy for a long time, but I could never call it a spiritual pregnancy because I never I never once thought afterwards that it was a spirit. Mostly because I never once thought during the 5 months that I was pregnant that it could be a spirit. I thought it was a physical conception, and then I was mistaken. But you know, everybody has all kinds of different experiences with pregnancy. If you do have an experience with spiritual pregnancy, there's nothing wrong with that. That's your own experience. It's, you know, if you can do it healthily without, you know, your health or anything paying the price for the spiritual pregnancy, including your spiritual connection. If you know that if your spiritual pregnancy is not negatively influencing anything in your life, then there's nothing wrong with you experiencing a spiritual pregnancy. If you're experiencing spirit babies or anything of the such, there's nothing wrong with that either. If you can do it in a healthy way, you do have to make sure that you are staying mentally stable in order to make sure that you're not going to, you know, if you're having a spiritual pregnancy, that does mean that you're not going to give birth to an actual baby. So you have to be mentally healthy and prepared, and be able to understand that at the end of this pregnancy, you are not going to have an actual physical baby. If you can understand that, and you're able to go through a simulated pregnancy or a spiritual pregnancy, or talk to your spirit baby, if you can do all of these things without having an emotional connection, and at the end of it not become more depressed or become mentally unstable due to this experience, if you can keep your mind, your body, and your spirit healthy, then go for it. But I think that's all that I have to say for this video. I don't want to make it too long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some information on how I processed my phantom pregnancy, and maybe if you think that you're experiencing a phantom pregnancy, or if you know you're experiencing a phantom pregnancy and you just don't have the courage to come out and say it, I encourage you to at least say it to yourself. Say it to your partner if you can, or maybe your mother or your father or somebody really close to you that you know really loves you. Even a child, they might not know exactly what you're saying to them, but telling somebody can really help you to continue to tell other people. And in doing so, it really does help you heal, because you find other people have experienced something similar. It may not be for as long of a period as yours, but at least they may be a little sympathetic or empathetic because they kind of understand where you're coming from. But I encourage you, even if you just want to share it to me, I will listen to you. So yeah, I really hope that this helped somebody figure out, or maybe get the courage to say it out loud, that they have experienced a phantom pregnancy. There's nothing wrong with it. Couldn't get through the whole video. Almost. Alright guys, so I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great week. Stay healthy, stay blessed, friends. Bye.